Yoshua Man C. Sky, welcome back to this week's Coffee Grind. We'll continue the conversation that we started last week with Joshua Dwight. And this week, we're mainly going to be talking about meditation. So we're going to be talking about some of the advantages of meditation, some of the common misconception about meditation. Also, we're going to be talking about some of the things you want to do when meditating. Most importantly, having a journal and writing things down. And Josh, we're going to be talking about, how a journaling can be a form of meditation. So those are just some of the things we're going to touch on. So you should get yourself a pen and pad, get yourself a journal, take some notes and get ready for this week's Coffee Grind. And again, if you haven't saw last week's Coffee Grind, look below, link below. Link's going to be up here. But get ready for this week's Coffee Grind.
Because I think it's important to know your numbers. Know, like, for example, I'm just throwing examples out there, but in business I've been in before. All right, I got to talk to 10 people to get 3 people to seriously talk to me.
Exactly right.
To get to one whatever, sale, whatever, service, whatever it might be. But then, on top of all that, you got to have those behaviors in place to get you to
when
those
you say
things.
behaviors, what do you mean exactly?
So I mean, like, for example, like, let's just say, so I've been in network marketing before.
Okay.
All right, and so that was kind of the thing. It was 10-3-1, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just go with a real life example. You've got to have the behavior of, and the mindset and behavior thing goes together, but you have to have that behavior of, I'm going to talk to everybody that I see.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? You got to have that behavior in you to know that this is now a thing,
right?
That I'm going to do, or that behavior of, I am not going to leave the house looking any kind of way.
Right.
If I'm trying to attract somebody into business and call myself a professional.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with. I like leaving the house looking like whatever. I'm not talking to anybody about business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I might be running a dollar store real quick to grab something or run into the gym, but so that keeping those behaviors in place and making those habitual things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like that, behaviors. I refer to them as disciplines.
There you go.
Behaviors. Yeah, I like that.
And where that came from me, I was going to do a video about this, but it's all coming out just in these type of videos.
Yeah.
Where it came from for me was working at there was a certain cell phone store.
Okay.
That I worked at, and they taught us that. They were like, don't ever, like, they didn't worry too much about, high level, they're worrying about sales and marginal revenues, all that kind of stuff. But low, on the micro scale, what we were more worried about is, did you talk to everybody about Bluetooth? Did you talk to everybody about that got a new phone about insurance?
Right.
Because if you make that a behavioral thing every time, then, like you said, the numbers are just gonna come.
Exactly.
So that's where I learned it from, and it's kind of slid out of my life, come back into my life, but more and more that I realized that I focus on behaviors. Yeah. And kind of to your point of having the systems in place and having set routines.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Then
I like
comes.
that a lot, man.
Yeah. So it comes. And if we can get into one more thing, I don't know if you want to talk too much about it, because a lot of people kind of like, I don't want to jinx it, but you're on a roll. You got a lot of stuff coming up with speaking and everything. Whatever you want to touch on that, you speak on that a little bit, or what?
Well, really, I'm really focused right now on building my coaching clientele up.
Okay. Yep.
And establishing, I mentioned a few times some products that I'm establishing for a wider array of budgets, if you will.
Gotcha.
So man, we are blowing and going on adding clients right now.
Cool.
In all different areas and facets of things. I'm working on something really exciting right now. Is some meditation workshops and things of that nature.
Oh, buddy.
I
love that.
I haven't talked a whole lot about this
Right.
Publicly yet, just because. Well, part of the reason that I haven't is because sometimes I feel like my divine encounters need to stay
secret divine
little
encounters.
private,
you know? And the other part of me not talking about it is because I have some really crazy, weird, divine encounters and meditations and things like that.
Yeah.
And but they're not just like weird, and I come out and I'm like a cult leader.
No.
Like they're super helpful to my life.
Yes.
And practical.
Right.
And so I've learned, over the years how to tap into that. Some people call it quantum realm, some people call it the spirit, some people call it the universe, the energy, your chakras, whatever. Like, I don't care what you call it. But I've created a practical brand and a practical way to approach meditation.
Okay.
That pretty much supersedes any type of religion.
Right.
And puts you in there in a place where you're going to connect to your inner being.
Right.
And you're going to connect to the inner being that's ultimately connected to the divine.
There you go.
And so I've had a lot of traction on some meditation products that we're putting together right now.
Cool.
And some workshops that we're going to be doing for specific age groups of people and things of that nature.
Right.
That's
huge.
So we're really excited about that.
That's going to be huge.
Yeah, we're really excited about that. And then, of course, the one-on-one coaching. We're always doing that. And then I have several products. I don't know if many. Well, I'm going to say it anyway. If you do or don't know, I'm going to say it right now.
Right.
So I have a really popular product that's actually free. I offer anybody that you just have to ask me for it.
Okay.
I don't have it as a opt-in or anything on my website. You have to ask me for it.
Gotcha.
I give it to clients who are wanting to discover passion and purpose and things like that.
Okay.
But it's called a focus finder.
Okay.
And it's a focus finder exercise I created when I first started coaching, and I've adapted it over time, of course.
Right.
But it's a really effective, really powerful tool to help people understand exactly where they want to be. When I say where they want to be, like where their heart is.
Yeah.
And stop listening to the voices on the outside. Stop listening to where the paychecks are and the job openings are and things like that.
Right.
And actually get to a point where you say, oh, no, this is my passion. This is what I want to focus on, and this is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And so I have a couple of tools that I send people. So if you're out there, you're not sure what you want to do as far as with your vocation or your purpose in life and everything, this exercise that I have really, really helps with that. So just email me at josh@joshuadwight.com.
And we'll have a link below.
Yeah. And I'll and just say Focus Finder, and I'll shoot you the Focus Finder for free. So,
gotcha. That's awesome. And that's one of those, and that is one of those free things that you're talking about. That if you can't necessarily work with that person.
Exactly
it's
right.
It's like, here you go.
Yeah, exactly right.
Awesome.
Yeah, and just so you know, like one of the other free things that I'm working on, like the Focus Finder, is actually it's like a mini video. I'm trying to cut it down into 10 to 12 minutes. For a couple of different particular areas. One for single mothers who have just gone through a real rough divorce and things of that nature.
Right.
Obviously don't have money to pay and everything. I'm creating a 10 to 12 minute video and worksheet that they can just get for free from me.
Right.
To be able to help them process this time in life and be able to game plan exactly how to heal, how to stay emotionally charged and empowered, and then set their path to their new life.
Right.
And still be happy.
Because healing from that is so important.
Exactly. So that's one, and then of course you have the anxiety and depression thing. I get a lot of that, so doing a 10 to 12 minute video and worksheet for those people who may not be able to afford me, but I just want to help.
Right.
So I have that out there as well.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's all great stuff, man. And I love to see all the stuff that you're doing. And let me just say, I think we definitely need to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I just love bouncing ideas off each other like that. But I also think that I can really foresee like another 6 to 12 months down the road, it's going to be a whole different
absolutely, man. Yeah.
atmosphere, a quantum realm, if you want to say. It's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
Because there's so many, and there's all other sides, and we'll talk after this video is done. That I want to get into with you, because we got a podcast and stuff that's going on. Podcast.
Check out the podcast.
Every day's in. But yeah, I think meditation is one more thing, man, before we wrap this up. So you're talking about your meditation app and your stuff that you're working on with meditation. I know for me that's a huge thing. I can tell the difference between having not meditated in days and having meditated. So I work on, I'm not gonna say try to, because I think that causes failure, but I work on doing that daily and making it part of my routine. Obviously you're making an app out of it, but what brought you to it, and what changes have you seen since, have you been meditating for years, or is it something that, has been recent, or what kind of brought you into it?
Let me address something real quick that you said, because I don't want to forget. I think it's really important. So with meditation, that's a really common thing for people to feel like, oh man, I haven't meditated today, or I haven't meditated in 2 days, and no doubt, like, you definitely start to feel it, right? Yeah. You definitely start to feel misaligned, and that's exactly what it is. However, one of the beautiful things about a universal approach to life and an aligned approach to life, and an idea that we all have a divine identity on the inside of us, with divine characteristics, means that despite me doing the outer action of meditating, that thing is still inside of me, and so getting away from condemnation for people, helping people get away from condemnation for those things is really big to me. Because whenever you start to get to a point where, oh man, I didn't do it, and you start to beat yourself up, now you've gotten into religious practice. Now you're going backwards with the whole idea in the first place. So the way I got into this now is, initially, whenever I got involved, I had my divine encounter and all of that stuff. The church that I was in had a real huge emphasis on prayer, and it was a Pentecostal church, so it was praying in the Spirit and all this stuff, and there was prayer meetings like every morning. So man, I spent let's see, I'm cutting myself way short. I've spent like 8 to 10 years waking up at like 5 in the morning and going and praying for 2 hours. And doing it wrong. Like blind squirrel kind of thing. Going in there, but I was doing it. And I was doing it, and then turns out that place that we were in was actually more, cultish than it was anything else. Escaped that place, went to pastor somewhere else. It was a much more charismatic place, and I got under a great leader over there, man, who really showed me, in a charismatic sense, the divine connection that we all have, but obviously with a Christian flavor that he was bringing to me. But it revolutionized my thinking of prayer and connecting to the Spirit as something that I work up, and something that I do right enough, then connect, and then get all the good stuff. And as opposed to that, it was now, no. The heavens are always open. The Spirit's always open. No, you always have it in here. No matter what, you always have it in here. And so it's not a matter of trying to do enough to get there. It's a matter of knowing you're there, closing my eyes, and then having an encounter when I do it. And so then it went from that, and had some really, really cool, awesome encounters with the divine, with that. And then, of course, if you know my story, 4 and some change years ago, I actually resigned from ministry because of those encounters I was having. Because I was being shown some really cool things about God and the universal nature of God, and I was like, man, I gotta step out of this, and I gotta be
free
out in the world, and go just help whoever, and just do my thing. And so when I did that, then obviously some more evolution happened, with understanding the personal prayer type life style. And that power is, the act of meditation is simply shutting up the ego, shutting up the mind, so that the true driver of this
Right.
life experience could come forth.
Right.
And that's what it is. When you're meditating, it's not that you're doing it to add some type of spiritual clout to your
No,
bank
you're
account.
not trying to power up or what have you,
Right,
you
right.
know?
You're already powered up.
Yeah.
It's shutting this up.
Right.
That's what it is.
Exactly.
You're letting
So you can-
you're letting
listen.
the real driver
Exactly.
get in the driver's seat.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
And that's what I mean by that. Like whenever I go days without it, the mind gets noisy.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and I'm not as, I don't want to say in control, but as aware, because I think your thoughts come up, you're just aware of it. Okay, push that to the side, like you said, just
Yeah.
clear it out.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah, I can definitely tell that, when I have it, when it and I think back, I'm like, okay, this is because it's been a
Right.
few days.
Right.
And all this cloudiness, I guess you could say, is coming in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I agree with you that it's not. I think people try to think like meditating is like almost like a Dragon Ball Z, like power up, and
Right.
then it's like,
Right.
no, you're already pretty damn powerful. Everybody's pretty powerful
Exactly.
in and of themselves. It's just a matter of, like you said, clearing out the clutter.
Yeah. Hey, I think if people could understand the concept and the philosophy of what we're talking about here, as far as it being a thing of who you are in your being,
Yes.
I think that causes a lot of the questions about meditation being something kooky and weird and all that. It takes it away because it's really not. It's actually really scientific.
Yes.
You take, and I don't know if you know. I mentioned the word the quantum realm. It's,
Yes.
what's the dude's name? Doctor.
I know there's Greg Brayton. Well, Greg Brayton isn't really quantum realm, but there's I know you're talking about. We'll have to pop it up on YouTube
Right,
when
right,
I
right.
post this. But yeah,
I can't believe I can't remember his name.
I don't know, but I know
really like
there's
his
one.
stuff.
Yeah, there's. Now, are you talking about quantum jumping or quantum selling?
No,
Quantum jumping.
No.
No?
It's hold on. With Doctor, I think it's Joe Dispenza.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, Joe Dispenza.
Yes. On The Secret and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that,
mhm,
was he
yeah.
on The Secret? Oh, I didn't even realize he was on The Secret. Huh.
If I'm not mistaken, he was on it because he had a bunch of like books and kind of programs that spawn a flavor
Right,
from
right.
from off of that. But yeah.
Yeah. So Dr. Joe Dispenza actually has researched a lot of the data behind meditation, and done a freaking ton of case studies on them. Actually hooked up heart and brain monitors to monitor brain waves and such and things like that as people
Right.
are meditating, and watched what happens whenever someone is able to shut off the physical perceptors.
Yeah.
And then what happens to the brain when the spirit then comes alive. In a sense, it's
No, I
already
gotcha.
alive, but it comes out and it has its play and its say in the body and in
Gotcha.
in the world. So
Very similar to, I don't know if you've listened to any of Greg Braden's stuff.
I haven't heard of him.
Listen to him. It's very similar. He has a what does he call it? Heart. It's basically it's very similar. He has a heart monitor that you pop in there that he puts on people, and there's a electromagnetic field that the heart pulls out,
Right.
and when you meditate, it pulls out another thing. One of his things is that the feeling is the prayer. So basically, instead of praying for something, you feel that thing
Yes,
that you
I love it. I love
that
it.
thing that you want, and you feel, that whatever you want to happen. So
Yes.
Greg Braden, but they're very similar. Yeah,
Yeah, I
very,
love it,
very,
man.
very, very similar. But and I think just maybe just to kind of tie this back right before we end this to like maybe like a little bit of business or what have you. Have you noticed, or did you notice once you started like getting into that meditation and shutting ego down and kind of just tuning in and or what have you, that your business has changed? Like it just kind of either it increased or it just took a whole different direction?
Well, I've always been into it,
Okay,
So
gotcha.
it's always been the foundation.
So it's always been something.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how much I wanted to talk about it.
Right.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was still, like I said, we've talked about, when you're doing business, you're really not, you're so wet behind the ears, man. You don't know what you're doing yet.
Yeah,
And I still think I don't know what I'm doing,
Right,
most of the time.
I'm
So,
right there with you.
I know a little bit, enough to be dangerous, I guess, and to get myself hurt.
Right.
But no, I say that tongue in cheek. But you know, I would add on to what you said and just confirm that whenever I am supercharged from a meditation session, and you know, I begin my day with that, it just, everything works better.
Everything kind of flows.
It's the oil, man. It's the oil that makes the machine work. You know, and not just that, but it's like, it's a whole freaking other dynamic.
Yeah.
Like I mean, you know, I can do a session with somebody or do a video or whatever, and it'd be good, and it still have, you know, the Joshua Dwight effect on it.
Yeah.
But I can do another video or go have a conversation with somebody or not even talk.
Yeah.
And just be in the presence of a grocery store, and people are like looking at me and smiling and wanting to like associate with me and talk to me and all those things. Things happen naturally when you're tuned into the being.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with it, and I actually had that happen today. So yeah. And it happens. Yeah, and that's one of the things. Like when I say, I can tell when I haven't meditated, because those type of things, when you meditate, those type of things just flow.
Exactly.
And when you don't, it's just like the flow is not there. Like what you were saying, just kind of wrapping full circle. What you were saying about the magic isn't there, or you have to force or try to what you think is forcing, but you really just beating your head up against the wall. But the magic isn't there. It's like I said, it's the oil, it's the secret sauce.
It is, man. And a lot of things just really. They really, all those ideas and the strategies that I was talking about, I mean, if I could be frank, a lot of those fall into place whenever you're in that place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, you just start to get these, you know, divine, intuitive ideas, and you know, one of the best, and this might be a good place to leave it, but one of the best pieces of advice and most simplest pieces of advice I could give is make sure you keep a journal handy.
Yes.
And I would recommend not even keeping it in your phone. I don't know if that's a weird, quirky religious thing to me, but there's something about writing it down to me that that just really, it really adds a pop and some power behind your ideas.
And I mentioned on another video, and I say it quite often whenever I'm coaching, but it's, for me, and this is just my thoughts on it, is whenever you're writing something, because first of all, it's in the ethereal, whatever plane you want to say of existence. It's not in the physical plane, I know that. Right. But when you write it out, it now is becomes something tangible in this physical plane.
Yeah,
and I think that is what the writing does. Typing, I think it still kind of keeps it out in that ether sphere. It's like it's not physically here. Now, if you print it out, different thing. But still, that writing, and while you're writing it, you're creating. Yeah. Especially if you're doing cursive. Yeah, I like that. But you're creating at the same time.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, so I think that's the power of a journal. Yeah. I've got like 5. I'm lying. I got like 15 of them just floating around all over the place.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then which is good and bad, because you always got one within hand's reach, but you never know really where. Like, all right, where was this idea at?
Right.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Journals are very important, and it was a thing that I do, and I still do whenever I'm coaching somebody. I tell them to go get a journal.
Yeah.
Go get something.
It's really powerful, man.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, something that they fit, and something that attracts, that they feel a calling to.
Yes. Yeah. On the inside of us, man, we're so powerful. Yeah. We have all the goods.
Right.
And a lot of times getting that journaling is a form of meditation to me.
Yes.
Because it starts to get the mind to throw up on a page, and then at some point the mind gets to stop, and the spirit then gets to come in and go, hey, this, and this.
Yeah.
So, man.
Yeah. We're going to leave it there because I can literally, I didn't know we could literally probably talk about this for another couple of hours.
Absolutely, right.
But we're going to leave it there. But before we go, where is, like, kind of some of the main pages. I know I'm going to link it below, but some of the main places people can find you at.
Yeah, well, man, right now we're really focused on building up our Instagram following.
Gotcha.
Really committed to that in the past 2 months here, and we've got a really good game plan that we're about to strategically attack and add a lot of value to our Instagram account.
Gotcha.
And I say our because I do have a team member that works with me now.
Awesome.
And
that's
and so,
a good thing. Good deal.
So yeah, that's why things are escalating a little bit more, and building a lot faster.
Right.
Facebook as well. I haven't, maybe tisk Josh on the business end. I haven't built up my Facebook business page as much.
Gotcha.
Because Facebook wants you to pay for all that stuff and everything.
Right.
So, so I technically am doing a lot on my personal page.
Okay.
And building up, real solid connections. And so
Gotcha.
I think I have like 1,000, 1,500 more that I can add of solid connections. I want to really connect with people.
Right.
We're talking to people every day, regardless if you're a client or not. We're talking to people and we're friending people and we're seeing exactly where they're at.
Right.
And so we're doing that. And then of course, my website, JoshuaDwight.com.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And
cool.
So you go there and you can see, what the recent stuff that I'm doing and everything. So.
Gotcha. So Instagram, Facebook, website.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, man, I appreciate it, man. As
Absolutely.
always, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for me, man.
And we got to do it again.
Absolutely.
And I
Just
would
let me
love to, Jen, if you're seeing this, it is what it is. I'd love to get you on the podcast with me and my buddy Jen. We have Everyday Zen podcast. So I would love to see if we can get you on that and talk more of the kind of the spirituality side.
Sure, man. Sure.
Staying positive life. But cool, man. That's it, man. That's all I got for you today. Leave comments, questions for me. Leave comments, questions for Josh. Let us know, what you, what you think about this, what you might have, questions about. So I love you. Namaste.